What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Let's get it for this week. I hope you guys are ready. We're going to do something that we've done before, but we're going to bring it back. Today's going to be a free-for-all. We're just going to drop the link in the comments. So if you're feeling brave enough to come on the show, click the link, come on the show, and let's get it rocking. Let's get this conversation started, the positive energy. Make sure that you're liking, sharing, and doing everything that you need to do for this program to share it out to as many people as possible so we can get going. Let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeanette Ramos and I'm the founder and CEO of It Takes a Village Housing. It Takes a Village Housing is a nonprofit organization geared towards helping mothers get the services that they need to raise their children. It's going to provide not only drug treatment services for our mothers, but mentors for our children, home economics for our mothers. This is going to be a one-stop shop that's going to provide for our families. Drugs and alcohol seem to be a big part of our society, and how we eradicate that will be based upon what we do for this population. We're always looking for donations. Help us out with those donations. Anything that you can give would be a great help. We're always looking for beds, we're looking for toiletries, we're looking for money, and anything that you can provide us would be of great help. So if you're willing to provide this population with a second chance at life, check out my website at ittakesavillage1.org, or you can email me at ittakesavillagemom@gmail.com. Here's to It Takes a Village Housing, and I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Y'all gotta let me know in the comments how y'all are feeling today, because I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. It is Thursday. It is 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You already know there's nowhere that I would rather want to be than right here with you guys, with the Positivity Posse, kicking it, chopping it up for the day, and talking about all the things that's important and all the things that's going on within our lives as well. Because you already know, with the Positivity Posse, this is a community of people where you're free to be whoever you want. as long as it's positive. If you're coming up trying to be racist or something like that, you can take that somewhere else, because that is not allowed in the positivity posse. Why do you think we call it the positivity posse? Come on now. So thank you guys so much, always, for sharing your comments, for your positive energy, for your questions, for always engaging, because without you guys, this show is not possible. I would just be talking to myself, and I can just do that in the mirror, and that wouldn't be very much fun, because I already know what I'm going to say before I say it. So thank you guys so much. If you're rocking with this content right now, if you're pouring into this good energy, into the universe and everything that you need to be doing, drop a hashtag positivity posse, so I know that you guys are engaged, and I know you guys are rocking with this content for today. And you guys already even see, that's how you know I have the best crew, the best support system, best positivity posse. You guys dropped it before I even said anything, so you guys already beat me to it. Thank you guys for doing this. My dog Josh, this is a free for all for today. So if you are feeling up to it, if you're feeling confident, make sure that you're clicking this link, because anybody and everybody is welcome to come on. And we're just gonna be we're gonna be chopping it up for today. And I have the next, I think, about 3 months of guests booked out. So this is just going to be one of those episodes where we take a little bit of a break from all of the great content. And it's not even a break. Let me not even say that, because we're still shining, and we're still doing what we need to do. But it's just a different twist on, having a guest come on every week to talk about their episodes, or talk about their life, their journeys, their ups, their downs, their lessons, all of that great stuff. And it's time to give you guys a chance to shine as well. So just click the link. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link. If you're watching on Facebook, there's a link. And if you still need the link, you're not watching on either platform, you can just text me. I probably won't see it, because I'll be engaged with you guys. But hey, it's worth a shot, right? If you want to come on. So I love you guys too. You guys are absolutely amazing. So we got a few things that we need to cover for today before our first guest comes on. And you already know what it is. Let's bring it out. It's the affirmations for happiness for today. If it wants to, all right, I guess it's not going to focus. So we always do this every week, just to, calibrate our minds to kind of set the tone for the next day, or, to cancel out any energy that might have not been supporting us for today. Once you change the way you look at things, the things you look at start to change. I know it sounds pretty cool, but there's a meaning behind that saying as well. It's because that's what you really need to do. Just because you're in a certain situation, or you might be experiencing something that it may be good or bad, always make sure that you're changing your perspective on everything, just to make sure that, that you're living the life that you want to live, full of positivity, prosperity, abundance, whatever it may be. That's what it's all about. Hello, Sherry McQueen. I haven't seen Sherry McQueen since what was it? The Power of We Symposium, right? That was a really fun event. I was actually looking at some of the video footage that I had, and even Denise, I'm happy to hear. I think I saw on Facebook that you had more people donating bags of food that you needed for it to. I believe how many colonies, Denise, if you can type in here, how many colonies of animals do you feed every day? I think I remember you saying you go through 40 bags of food a day. So let us know how much, if we can help you out, how much, how much you received. What brand of food is it that because you use over 60 colonies? Are you serious? Damn, that is, it always blows my mind. I knew it was something amazing, but just to hear over 60 is absolutely amazing. Actually, if you can drop what brand of food that you use to help these colonies out, maybe there might be somebody watching that right now. Hey, it might even be me, who knows, but I can't take all the credit for it. That might be able to help you out. Was the footage mostly from the floor of the Power of We? Yes, it was, but I did get word, I believe, that some of the content, I'm not sure if all of it, but I know some of the content has been distributed from the E360 footage that we took. So, all right, let's get back to the affirmations. So for the affirmations, you already know, choose happiness is what it says. I'll read you the back to say what it says. It's all too common to find yourself wishing you were happier. Reclaim your right to be happy with affirmations for happiness. And inside, you'll find 200 affirmations to help you throughout your day, and you can incorporate them into your life. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that we need to be looking at too. And let me give you a little tip too for social media. I know for me, I kind of hacked it in a way where you can, like, I only see motivational things, I only see positive things. I try to make sure that, because I mean, it's no secret. Every single move that we make on social media, whether it's a like, whether it's a comment, whether you click a link to open up something, all of that stuff is being tracked. So if you kind of calibrate it to make sure that everything is all positive, don't get me wrong, not everything's going to be positive, but if you can change your frame of mind, it could even be about abundance of money or how to manifest, or somebody helping out animals. It could literally be anything. Just try to make sure that you're being aware of what you're consuming on the on social media as well. So like I said, I kind of hacked it so that I see all positive things when I go on there. And it can be kind of addicting just to see all of those positive things. And we actually have our first guest for today. Let's go. We have one brave soul. She's been on here time and time again, always giving back, always supporting the channel. Thank you so much. And she's actually going through the same thing that I've been going through, as far as like a spiritual journey and everything that we have going. If you guys don't already know, I announced last week that I was in the midst of closing a 7-year chapter in my life. And it has been official this week. I have closed that chapter for good. And I'm just so excited. There's been one thing though, which was kind of weird. It has been a little weird. I can use that word. Leading up to this event of closing this chapter, I was thinking, okay, I'm good. Okay, I'm good mentally. I'm on a good note. I'm focusing on the right things. And it was all the way leading up until that day. And yes, it has been 7 years. Yes, lucky number 7, 100%. If you guys can't see it, lucky number 7, 100%. So when the day came, I was fine. I felt a little bit emotional, just processing all the feelings, because 7 years is a long time. That's close to a decade, and I'm a younger guy, and 7 years is a big portion of my life, especially when it's the most recent 7 years. Instead of it being like from 0 to 7, it's 7 to 20, or it's 18 to 25 for me. I was processing all the feelings. Everything was going great. And it was the day after that the emotions that I thought weren't going to come about, like, what am I doing? Am I making the right choices? Am I making the right steps? That's when those started to come to mind. So, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I felt a little bit of like a heaviness and like kind of some negative energy, like just, I guess questionable energy, just to make sure that, I'm taking the right steps and taking that leap of faith to trust the powers that are greater than us, and to make sure that I'm trusting myself and that I'm betting on myself to make sure I'm making the right moves. So those thoughts came the day after, and I felt like a heaviness and kind of some negativity. And it was with me for like a day. And this was 2 days ago. So it was with me up until today, actually. And I was like, man, I got to shake this feeling. I got to shake like this heaviness off of me, because I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I actually did a meditation that happened. I found it on YouTube, guys, and you don't have to pay for meditations. Like I do have a paid app that does meditations as well, but I found it on YouTube, and I was like, man. So before I did the meditation, I felt very heavy and negative. And after, oh my God, let me guys tell you, it was like the weight of the world was completely lifted off of my shoulders. So if you guys want to type it in the comments or talk about it in the comments, one of the biggest decisions that you've had to make in your life, what was the decision, and how did it end up turning out for you? Did it work out the way that you think it was going to work out? Or did it just go into a completely different route and you had to restructure your plan? So let me know what those decisions were for you. I mean, I've done it before, which was, all right, yeah, she's just setting up her camera in the back looking all crazy. So the other huge decision that I made before was to not go to school, not go to college specifically. And I told you guys about that. If you guys have been on the show long enough, that was the biggest decision, the biggest huge decision that I've made. And this is just another thing. And I'm just going to respond to this. Number one, always bet on yourself 100%, because you actually have control over what decisions and what actions you can make. So that's why I always believe you can bet on yourself too. And the outcome is going to be right if you're operating from a place of love as well. And one more point. I'm going to answer this one as well. Things typically work out better. 1000%. I cannot imagine my life if I were to continue to go to college. I know that I would have been super miserable, would have spent a lot more money, and it just wouldn't have worked out the way that it did. And I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now with the Positivity Posse. So, yes, typically things always work out better. And I will say this too. Just remember, it will all work out for you. You are the creator of your own reality. Things are temporary. We must find our purpose 100%. Let's get it. So we got two guests. Brave souls that decided to click the link. I hope you guys, if you're watching, to click it too. Now it's time to bring on. You guys already know what I'm going to say, probably. It's time to bring on Oracle because she's been waiting patiently. And let's get it. We're not going to do the countdown. We're just going to bring you straight on. Let's get it.
Hey, how is everybody?
What's going on, Oracle? How you doing?
Good. You should bring everybody on at the same time. Let's have a round table.
Round table? All right, my guy, Ryan. Let's get it. Here he is.
Hey, everyone.
Round table discussion. Let's get it.
There you go.
What's going on, Ryan?
What's going on?
Absolutely amazing.
I thought it was interesting.
How you doing,
You're
Oracle?
talking about that things always work for the better because our lizard brain looks at things from the negative first. And that's because we were programmed to look for tigers and lions and bears. So when we're coming out into a place of nature, we can spot the dangers. So it's really mindset. We have to shift that lizard brain into knowing and recognizing that we're no longer programmed to that past pattern of walking outside and being almost eaten by some kind of pterodactyl. But that's a skill set. It's a process.
100%. And hey, Ryan, I know you got in a little bit later, but I know for me specifically, I closed the chapter in my life. You actually know about that chapter, and we moved on. Oracle actually moved as well. So, Ryan, can you tell us about one huge decision that you had to make in your life and how it ended up working out for you?
Yeah, one thing that I was thinking of before I joined, and thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it. One thing it was just separating myself from, just like a certain type of energy, that's really not, and then energies, that's not kind of like adding to me, not helping me to be like a better version of myself, kind of like just like draining energy, things like that. It was a difficult decision like to make at a time because, just having like such like being like a genuine person that has like a big heart. Things like that, you try to like always like see like the good in people and stuff like that, but then it kind of gets in the way of like like the actual problem that's like going on, like you being like a good person and stuff like that, and just giving people like chances and things when like you're holding yourself back. So it was like a tough decision, like just like to separate myself from her, because just from maybe being like friends with like a person for such like a long time. It can be like a hard decision, but like later on, like once you kind of like you make that decision, then you just like separate yourself. You just see like things start to get better for you, just different opportunities come your way. You build better like connections and things like that. You meet people that are like into like doing some of the same things that like you're into like doing. For example, like the fitness thing, like with you. We get up, we sacrifice, like some sleep to get up like early, man, to like, set the tone for the day. So
straight up. Yeah. I mean, if you guys didn't already know, me and Ryan, we wake up like 6:30 in the morning. We go, we get active, and we get physical. And I don't know if you guys are feeling this right now, but I feel like there's just so much energy in here. You got Oracle that's laying next to a riverbed, and in the forest, you got Ryan that's in the city working, making his money, and decided to come on. And then we got, everybody else in the Positivity Posse. Are you guys feeling that right now?
This place I'm at, I'm in Mandala Springs. This place is truly magical. It is. The water here is literally live water. Live water is water that hasn't been processed or gone through any type of filtration system that has killed off some of the molecular structures in the water. So the tap water that's coming out into your house is not conscious water. It's not live water. It's dead because it's being put through these funnels that's unnatural, these linear pipes that are unnatural to the water. Water holds on to memory. So we're sitting next to a live water stream. You could drink right from this water, and it's absolutely 100% safe.
Where's that at?
I am currently in North Carolina.
Wow.
It's amazing. Amazing.
And so if anybody wants to retreat here, you can. Mandala Springs on Facebook. We're having a July 4th celebration. There's going to be retreats coming into the end of the summer. So come here, let it off. Let it all go. Let it all go.
Let it all go.
Come to North Carolina.
That's what I'm talking about. And you know, there's another theme that I see between the three of us too, just because I know both of you personally, is the fact that we take our health and we take our physical activities very, very seriously. Can you talk about, you know, what the importance, Ryan? I want you to go first. And Oracle, you have a great story because I know that you were literally immobilized. You were bedridden. You couldn't move. And now you have aspirations of, and you're preparing. I don't want to give away a top secret event just yet, but I know that you said you wanted to do a marathon. So Ryan, can you talk about how the importance of, you know, physical exercise and what role it plays into carrying out your dreams? And I know you believe in a higher power as well. So can you talk about physical exercise and how it helps you like serve and be the best man that you can be?
Yeah, definitely. So physical, definitely. Like I'm also like a person, you know, that's involved in sports as well. You know, so we get up early in the morning to go to the gym, you know, to get some cardio and playing basketball. We also lift weights, but I'm also like a guy that plays football as well, involved in football. So even though like that's playing like basketball, like that's cardio, that you know that also like helps along with like being a guy that plays like football, like you know, like on the athletic like side. But it helps out with. It definitely helps me like from a mental point of like a view. You know, definitely helps me to have. It definitely helps me with having positive energy. You know, being able to give off like positive energy. You know, like to other people, like friends and family, like you know, like other like loved ones. I definitely feel good about myself after like I finish like my workouts. You know, I've also felt like myself. I've also felt like I felt like myself like get like better, like in like a physical, like I you know felt like myself like get stronger, like in areas of like my body and things like that. I've witnessed like my body building, also too, like you know like during like the time frame of you know like just being active. But it just makes me just want to you know like be better like all around, you know. Just from when we get up like early, like to go to the gym, even other like workouts that like I'm involved in, you
Yeah.
know, it makes me want to like hold myself accountable to not just settle, you know, for like you know little things, you know.
Yeah.
Just like, it just makes me like hold myself like accountable to like want to be great in every area that I'm able to be, you know, mentally, spiritually, financially, and in all avenues, you know.
Yeah.
This
I
makes me, you know, just like want to just pushes me to just like want to just be a better person and to also be a better person to the people that I'm connected to as well, family and friends, you know.
Yeah, and you know what, Ryan, too, I think another point is kind of the to add to it, you mentioned all team sports, and I think the communication piece is a big piece too. You learn how to talk to different people, you learn how to communicate with them, just to make sure that, you know, when you work together as a team, you can build and you can win. And it's the same thing with sports and the same thing with life. And, you know, I know for us too, we hold each other the accountability piece. If there's a loose ball right off of a rebound, you already know that me and you are competing and we're giving our all. But it's like you said, once you give your all on that court, you can give your all to everything else. And or I'm going to talk about, you know, your piece as well.
So I agree with Ryan 100%. That's very important. I was in the military for 9 years. And unfortunately, after my time in service, I winded up having a shutdown of my central nervous system, which caused me to be physically disabled for around a decade. So I'm coming to be fully able-bodied once again in this last year, which I'm claiming. I haven't had any syncopatic episodes. I couldn't feed myself. I needed assistance in all facets of my life, bathing, cleansing, eating. And so when I couldn't physically move, I went within. I retreated because I became nonverbal. I could no longer communicate with people for my needs. And so I retreated within and I started to have this unfolding process happen through meditation, through shadow work, through Reiki, through integrated energy therapy. And I started to invest in myself in that way instead of soaking. And I did. And I soaked. I'm not saying that I didn't soak. you know, maybe that first year I was like, why me? Why this? Is this the rest of my life? And I gave myself a pity party. I would go to these forums and listen to other people who had the same experience as me, because I felt like no one was hearing my experience and no one understood the pain that I was going through. But then at a certain point, it's like, okay, I'm tired of hearing the sad song. It was a song on repeat. And it was so sad. It was just like, all right, but what now? Okay, this happened. I'm sorry you can't walk. I'm sorry you can't speak, but what now? And, you know, you fight it. It's like, okay, well, I can't physically do anything. So, you know, I can sit here and say, well, I can't do anything about it. And so it is just what it is. But it isn't. But it isn't. Because at that, even when I was bedridden and nonverbal and not able to take care of my body, I still had choice. I still had the choice to choose how I wanted to feel about it. And so when I retreated, I started to see what parts of myself I could love. And those parts that were hurting, those parts that were aching, because the path to spirituality is not about being our greatest self. The path to spirituality is about loving those aspects of ourselves that we deem unlovable. So we have to bring those out of these little closets and corners and love them anyways, And through this process, I started to become healthier and healthier and healthier. And I started to hold myself accountable in a different way, in an emotional way, you know, in my attitude, in my thinking, in my resources. And within that, it started to overflow outside of my body. And then I was like, okay, well, now I can climb 3 stairs. And when someone would say, you want help with that? I would say no. And I would climb the 3 stairs. If I fell, I fell. If I have fallen from several flights of stairs and I injured myself, but you know what? I was proud that I got back up and I did it again. And I did it again. It didn't matter how many times you fall. You have to realize that even if you fall, give yourself some time, give yourself space for grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself space for the process, for the experience, and then be kind to yourself. We can be so hypercritical because we put these really big expectations on ourselves, and just meet yourself where you are lovingly. And now I also have disciplined myself to run 5 times a week, to exercise 5 times a week. And it all started with the Oculus Quest, the video game. That got me moving again. So get moving. It doesn't matter how it looks. You don't got to go to the gym and pump iron. You don't got to go running outside. If it's just in your house and you're hula hooping, good for you. If you want to go play some Dance Dance Revolution because that's the way you're going to move, do it. But find a way to move.
That's a fact. I agree with that 100%.
Very well said.
A lot of people think that, you know, when they, let's just say for an example, because I see it all the time, you know, it doesn't have to be the gym, but I'm going to use this example anyway. I see people when they first go to the gym, they get discouraged because they're so worried about what everybody else is doing. But I think you need to flip that perspective. Just as long as you're in there, actually moving around, like you said, actually lifting the weight, going to do a Zumba class, going to do a biking class, a swimming class, whatever it is, just go freaking do it. Don't worry about what anybody else is going to say, because number one, nobody is going to live in your shoes and they're not going to experience what you're experiencing. They don't know what you're fighting. You could have come back from an injury. This might be your first day. You know, you might want to go support a friend. It doesn't matter. Find a way to move. Whatever makes your heart happy, 100%. And, you know, I want to talk about, you know, a concept, and it's by Eckhart Tolle. And there's 3 ways to deal with any situation that you're in. And Oracle, you just mentioned it. It's remove it, change it, or accept it. Ryan, you actually talked about the first one with removing people. Oracle, you were just talking about accepting it. And I think we right now, what all 3 of us are going through is change. And it's just so synonymous and in sync with what we're talking about. I'm changing, Oracle's changing, Ryan's changing. The viewer right now might be changing. So make sure that if you are going to remove it, change it, or accept it, just make sure that you're doing it with all the great positive energy that you have. And just always believe in yourself 100%. Now, I want to talk to you guys. This is going to be a pretty touchy subject. So if you want to log off right now, I'm more than okay with you doing that. Oh, she rolled off. Well, I want to talk to you guys, and I hate to bring politics into this because we never do it, but let's talk about a little bit about the new abortion thing that just happened, right? So I want to bring up a little fact about you guys. And look, Oracle's already getting hype, I can tell. So
this one I'm listening in on because I'll be honest, I haven't really done much research on it.
Yeah, so I just
like a lot of time in there, so I'll listen in on this one.
Yeah, I agree, Ryan. I haven't really been doing much research either, but I want to bring up one thing. So the CDC says in 2019 that 629,000 abortions around there were made, and those numbers don't include California, Maryland, New Hampshire, and the District of Columbia, right? So I haven't really been keeping up with the whole thing that's been going on, but the thing that I'm really concerned about, and it may sound a little weird, is, one that, if they say that they take away one freedom, then it'll, leach over to everything else. But what does that mean for the earth? So think about, the 629,000, not including those states that I said. Let's just round it up close to a million. Do you guys think that'll help or hurt the planet? And that's really my question to you. Do you think that's going to be a good thing for the environment and everything going on, or do you think that it's really not going to matter? And I know Ryan said he's going to just listen in on this one. So Oracle, however you want to take this, the floor is all yours as well.
That wording of that question is very interesting. Is this going to affect the collective consciousness? Everything affects the collective consciousness. The doing of the action is not what affects the collective consciousness. The energy, the intention behind it is what affects the global consciousness. Because and you know what? You guys are going to crucify me. Fine. That is totally okay for this. We come into this earth. We come into a body. Our spirit comes into a soul already with the karmic or dharma of a past, knowing what we are here to have as soul mastery. That is you. Yeah. And I'm saying we choose our lessons. Now, how they present those lessons in these lives is up to the individual person. But if these laws are being retreated on, released, or broken, what is the power behind that? What is the purpose behind that? Because is it to say we need to give choice back to the unborn child? Or is it saying, because there's a stipulation here, interestingly enough, it's statistically 70% of men are the ones that request the abortion from the woman. And if you think I'm making that number up, go ahead and Google it. It's 70% of men who are requesting the abortion from the woman. So what does that say? It says that the man still has the power. This law that has been taken back or rescinded, it's not stopping people from getting abortions. It's not. What's happening is, what we're forgetting is that this law was put in place in the 40s and the 50s so that women could have safe access to medical care. That is it. We're not stopping anything but having women having a safe place to have medical attention for a medical procedure. That is what is occurring at this moment in time in regards to that particular thing. We also are overlooking the fact that the child care system, the foster system, is completely corrupt. It is, and if you guys don't know, was and is my current mentor, Michael Lauren Harris, will tell you on what is that Goldcast, his home, 22 different mothers, 22 different homes, the abuse, the rape, the molestation. The system is held by bubblegum and tape. So what we're doing is that we're not really fixing anything by doing this particular thing. We're doing a disservice to women because they don't have access to their body. And it is men of privilege, and I'm going to say it is white men of privilege that are taking away the autonomy of a woman. And it's interesting because there are no such laws for men. A woman has always been under the microscope of man, of the patriarchal system, and it's always winds up being what we can have and what we can't have, but it does not cross over to men. I think the earth will be fine. If those souls that came in depart in that manner, that means that vessel, that human being that was carrying that particular soul, was not going to fulfill the dharma or the karma for that particular soul that was meant to incarnate at this time. And so this happens not with just abortion, but miscarriages or early or stillbirths. It is not that the person was doing something wrong. It is just each soul has something to fulfill, and it has to come through the right door in order to fulfill it.
100%. Ryan, I agree with that too, because it's there's like I said, this is such a really touchy subject, and I know
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And on the weekly dose of data, we really talk about like life's journeys, and we really don't talk about politics or anything like that because there's chock full of everything like that you can find on social media. But I wanted to bring this up just because there's so many different perspectives and ideas and views about it that I think we do need to have this conversation, just to really hear some different pieces of information for everybody going on and everything like that. I know for me
And
that
it is because people are trying to put so many stipulations on it. Well, it should be okay if she's raped. So you're telling me that it should only be okay that I have autonomy over my body if someone has already violated the autonomy of my body?
yeah.
When there's so many other variables, and it's
Mm.
disgusting to hear, well, women shouldn't open their legs, because it always falls down to a woman shouldn't have worn this, she shouldn't have been there. It is never the person victimizing her, but it falls on herself when
Yeah.
there are other things in place. I was in the military, they forced me to get a shot that destroyed my birth control. I could have gotten pregnant in that moment. So
Mhm.
then that would have fallen on me. And it's not because I opened my legs or because I wasn't careful. That's because there isn't full disclosure on all the things that are being put into people's bodies in addition to our rights. Our rights are being violated, period, point blank. And this is just a domino effect for something bigger. This whole
Yeah.
everything, this pandemic, everything that's happening now, it's kind of like that show with the girls, with the women with the red coats and the white bonnets. It is just a domino effect to something bigger. It's to see how much pushback are we going to get if we take this away. Then how
Yeah,
much pushback are we going to get if we take this away? But what's next?
that's a
It's just
fact.
a matter of what's next.
All right.
But
Well,
we're the insignificant ones, we're the lesser ones, so we're the more fragile ones. We don't have as much voice as the white man inside of the democracy. So of course they're going to silence us. Of course they're going to push us down.
yeah.
Come
All
on.
right. So I
Does
think
happen.
we,
A lot of
I
that does
think
happen.
we, yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just saying, like, I agree, like a lot of that does happen, like what Oracle was just saying.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I kind of want to change the subject now because there's a lot of, charged emotions, just because it is fresh and brand new. I'm just going to play a quick commercial. If you guys want to stick around, you guys are more than welcome to, but I'm just going to play a quick 2-minute commercial and then we're going to get back to that positivity. And I hope you guys are sharing this because this is stuff that everybody needs to hear as well. And don't go anywhere. Make sure you're sharing this. Make sure you're liking this. Thank you guys for coming on. Like I said before, if you're brave enough, see, I told you, if you're brave enough to click that link, you better do it because this is chock full of the stuff that we really need to hear and talk about in our world. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There's a world inside my head. I get lost in it from time to time. No one has a spare key, only one is inside of me. Oh, I'm really that
everybody. To all the sponsors, thank you so much. I think she just cut out, but that is a-okay. If she has to go, then she has to go. All right, my guy. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah,
It's
appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, I don't want to put you, like I said, it was a touchy subject, but I kind of like to just stay away from those things. But, I
Yeah,
wanted to try something new. Why not? Why not talk about it? All right,
right.
so Ryan, we're going to flip the script and we're going to talk about, what we always talk about here on this show about positivity. And, I think a lot of people think that awakening, we're going to be talking about awakening, it's not really meant for anybody. And I was having a conversation about this with another friend. And I know Oracle and yourself, you guys are, pretty advanced in, the awakening process and kind of changing our mindsets in a different way to make sure that it's different from what everybody else thinks. Because, 98% of people really aren't happy or satisfied or living the life that they want, but only 2% are. And you guys really fit that qualification in that 2%. Can you talk about, like, what are some of the reasons or why this person said that, or not this person, but why you may believe that awakening might not be for everybody? Ryan, I want you to take this one first.
Awakening, awakening. I do believe awakening is for everyone,
Mhm.
but I believe that like at different times, like different people, people awaken themselves, like awaken at different times. Everyone's like timing is like different. Like some people like aren't always, mentally always like ready for a change. You know what I mean? Ready to like take that like next step. Sometimes people don't believe in themselves. Sometimes people have experienced certain situations in their lives that have made them, that has lowered their confidence, or just kind of like some people are just sometimes just kind of like just don't see themselves like like in a certain like position like in life. But I do believe it is for everyone. But everyone just like awakens at like different times.
Yeah, definitely. And can you talk about like what your version is? And this is going to be for both of you. Ryan, what's your version of awakening?
Awakening, like the way I see it is awakening. Like I'll say like awakening as in like kind of like a just valuing yourself like in a way of like valuing yourself more, like in a way of like wanting like more for yourself, like just kind of like seeing like, hey, like like I'm capable of accomplishing this, like I'm capable of like making it accomplishing, like for example, like say if someone is desires to graduate college, like I'm capable of like doing this. And if an advisor told them they can, they'll have it done in 5 years, like someone can believe that they can get it done in 4 years, like that's kind of like
Mhm.
what I look at it like in like a way, basically like just yeah, exactly what this person just said, unlocking your
Yeah,
full potential. That's
100%.
what I mean by that.
I agree. And Oracle, could you take that away? So why, do you believe? Well, I also believe that everybody can awaken, but it may not be for everyone, and they may
True, true.
take a few steps. I remember you telling me it's kind of like, what you compared it with the higher being, kind of like planting a garden. Like you can throw in 10 seeds, but only 2 of them may sprout. Why is that the case for some people that the 8 of them may not awaken?
So, and awakening, we think it's like a singular process, like a moment in time, but it isn't. Awakening is an evolution, it's an unfoldment. It is a continuous unfoldment. So, you don't just awaken and then that's it, you're awake. No, because the fact is, you have many facets of yourself that are continuously dormant. This is why you are still split. We have a conscious and a subconscious mind. If we were fully awakened, would we have the need for a subconscious mind? No,
Mhm.
because we'd be completely aware, because awakening is the process of illumination. And our illumination or our awareness can only hold one space in our mind at a time. Our focus can only be driven one space at a time, or it lessens its magnitude.
Mhm.
Okay. So when you put the seed analogy, regardless of, let's say your effort, your emotion is the water, but life, circumstances, and situations are the seeds.
Mhm.
When you throw those seeds down, whether life brings you a beautiful lemon tree or it brings you some weeds that have really no fruit to them, what it's going to create is going to create a dissonance. because that water is going to raise the weeds and the water is going to raise the lemon tree. But it's up to us to see where the value is in that. And the process of awakening is about allowing yourself to have responsibility and accountability for every fingerprint that we leave behind, our carbon footprint that we leave to the earth. The meals that we purchase, are they in plastic containers that are going to just sit in a landfill for 1,000 years? It's an evolutionary process. It's just not one. It's not just, well, I just have to be a good person. Okay, you can be a good person and still pollute the earth. You can be a good father and still be a bigot. You can be a good person and still own an island where little kids are, bad things happen to them.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it is it's a process and not an individual thing, and we all have that. It's just different doses. It's different doses of it. And the interesting is that the reason it happens greater for certain people and not others, it's our willingness to arrive to that moment and choose that path.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like a lot of people, once well, let me not just say a lot of people, but I know from my experience, once that calling did come, I was able to welcome it with open arms, because I don't know like what my past lives are. I know you're really into that, but I don't know too much about it. But I always felt like there was something greater than what we are. Like there's another life after this earth. What it may be, everybody has different speculations about that. But I know for me, in my perspective, that I was willing to able to answer this call because I do believe in what goes on beyond this life. And a lot of people, once they ask for something to happen, when they're like, okay, well, save me, if they're at their wits' end, or if they want signs from that higher being, then a lot of people, once it does happen, they start to get scared and they start to second guess if this life is really for them. And Ryan, can you talk about one of the first times that you might have asked for help from the higher being or started this awakening process, and what that journey was like for you in the very beginning?
Wait, can you come back to me on that one?
Yeah.
I gotta think about that a little bit.
You got a lot going on. I understand.
Yeah, I
You're
got a lot
in the car right
yeah.
now, driving in the
You're
city.
good.
Trust me, you're all good. Oracle, you want to answer that? Because I know in the very beginning for you, it wasn't very easy. You had to go through some serious things. Can you talk about some of the things that you had to go through in the very beginning, once they called you, basically?
So I feel like from I am a coach. I'm a spiritual coach and a spiritual advisor, and I teach integrated energy therapy and trauma release and Reiki. And for myself and for many other people and the thousands of classes I have taught at this point in my career, comes down to the same thing. Sometimes what we pray for, we never truly expect it to actually arrive. And when it does, our imposter syndrome of worthiness arises. And then we ask ourselves, why me? Why me? I am an unworthy vessel to hold such a grand universe, to be in the spotlight. And then it's kind of like public speaking, but in private with God or universe or source or creator or whatever label you want to give something that is greater than yourself. And it's all about the surrendering to the process, that when the moment does arrive and your prayer, your intention, your call out is answered, to humble yourself in whatever regard that is. Whatever that is. It doesn't matter if you're fearful. I mean, fear's human. But allow yourself to open your hands and take the vessel and then make with the ingredients wherever you are at in the capacity of the moment, to create with that ingredient. Because it's gonna have a flavorful, savory taste to it. You just never baked it before, but now you're being given what you need in order to have that nourishment, that soul nourishment.
Makes sense. Ryan, you thought about your answer yet, or you just
Can
gonna?
you ask me the question again?
He's waiting for the time to run out.
Yeah, I know. All right, well,
Yeah.
you had another 10 minutes, or if you
No,
want
you
to.
good. You good. I just
Yeah,
want to answer the answer. I want to answer the question correctly.
nah, it's all good, man. How about we just move on to the next one as well? Because I see Oracle kicking her feet back there, and she's having a great old time with everything. Hey, Ryan, can you talk about, I know that you faced a lot of adversity in your life, for countless reasons. Can you talk about some of the main driving factors that that you think about on the day to day to help you push through some of the things that may be trying to hold you back? Whether it's I've seen it firsthand. People trying to talk negatively about you, or everything's just set up a certain way to be against you. So what are some of the things that you think about on the day to day to just drive you and just make sure that you complete all your goals and your missions in your life?
Well, one of the things is, just me, just knowing who I am as a person, and just knowing that like I don't like owe any, like knowing that like I don't like owe anyone like any like any explanation of like that. I don't have to like explain like who I am to everyone. Like there's like multiple people like who know that like who see me as like a great like a great individual.
Mhm.
So like I always just kind of like just try to just make sure that like I have like a like just like like just a kind of like a reality check like a little bit, just to like always like remind myself like like that I am like a good person, and to not like seek it from like like not to seek like approval from like others,
Mhm.
to just like um sorry.
You know what I think it is? I
Yeah.
think Ryan might be in the splash zone. That's what I'm thinking.
Last jump.
Yeah, so basically what happens is I remember I was looking at the first interview that me and Oracle ever did together,
Yeah.
and I couldn't even say my sentences correctly. Like I was stumbling over my words, and I was like, damn, I
Yeah.
just feel so like
Looking for words. Yeah.
light, yeah. So that is a real thing, just to let you know. So, Brian, you're all good, man. Just take your time.
Yeah. I just always.
Like I said, I've been on the other side of that before, and you're just like, what the heck? Because Ryan, I know that when we talk together, it's just free flowing, and you know what I mean. So go
I'm
ahead, just
sorry, I gotta mess everything up.
I, I just always like remind myself like who I am like as like a person, and just to always just keep a mindset of just to just never like like just give up and just like to just stay focused at like what I'm doing, and that always just remind just keep in mind that like there's going to be a great outcome like to to come, even if I don't currently see it at the time.
Mhm.
There'll always be like a great like outcome, and to just continue to try to be the best person that I can be, to not only like myself but like like to the others that are like like good like to me like as well. um I just I always just look, I know that the things that like I work hard like towards, that I that I will get results. So
Yeah, straight up.
just staying focused on like like the greater things to come, that's all.
Yep, straight up. And that's what we always do anyway. We know every morning that we set the intention with our day that number
Yep.
one, we're gonna get our physical activity in first to make sure that the vessel that we're in right
Well,
now is
you
gonna
start
make
off before you start the physical thing.
huh?
You do your morning routine.
Yeah.
Before we start, yeah, before, you start off. So that's already like, like, oh, that's already a good start for you,
Yep, for us. And even though,
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
yeah, so it's just so fun, man. Just going in the mornings. I love it. Orca,
Yeah.
I know you got mad ants crawling on you right now because you've been staying in that same position for a minute. So can you talk about like what are some of the things that drive you to just make sure that you're the best person that you can be and accomplish everything that you want?
What drives me and what has initially driven me is knowing how much suffering there is in the world. How every single person, no matter what face they show you, I'm so sensitive now, but I always had that in my mind that there was so much suffering in the world that if I could help to alleviate even 1% of that life would be worth living. And that's what drove me to open my wellness center and to try to do the best that I can. I had a lot of suicides in my line growing up. And so if I learn how to be kind to me, if I learn how to be
True,
to
true.
love me, and it's not just be authentic, because I feel like saying the word just is there's days you're weak. There's days there's trauma. There's days where somebody dies. So that we're just it doesn't fit the whole scope of life's waning and waxing, but it's coming to that moment of grace. It's coming to that moment of kindness. And once you pour that into yourself, recognizing that I'm a flawed human being, but I'm going to love myself anyways and love myself through whatever adversities are coming through, it outpours from you,
Mhm.
because even though you're coming to me now with a smile on your face, you've had darkness in you.
Mhm.
You've lost something. You have suffered. And because that's in my heart. That's my why. It never goes away. That why never goes away. And that is what drives and propels me forward. And I feel like what emanates from my authentic, empowered heart.
Straight up. And I love that answer too, because a lot of
True.
people, I gotta
True.
stop saying that. Why do I keep saying? I guess I must be in the splash zone too. And even the positivity posse, everybody watching and pouring this great energy, it just feels so absolutely amazing. So Oracle, I'm gonna get you off. I'm gonna take you off right now. Thank you so much for all
Thank
of
you
your
for having
answers and all your comments. And Ryan, I want you to stay really quick. Thank you, Oracle. Thank you so much. She has a show on E21, Divine Encounters. I know what you're thinking before you even say it. So Wednesdays at 7 if you want to go check it out. Thank you for being here today. And Rye, I gotta ask you this question, man, because this is how we always end off the segment. And Oracle's already answered this one before, so now it's your turn. So, Rye, if there's somebody out there watching this episode right now, right, and they just tuned on and they're just watching and they're looking at you, if they're in their deepest, darkest place in this world, or in their point in their life, what advice would you have to give them in order to take them out of that spot in their life?
I'll start with believe in yourself. There's a way out. You know, there's definitely a way out of every dark situation that anyone like may possibly be in. You know, whether that person believes in a higher power, whatever they believes in, whatever they like believes in that helps them, you know, get out of any like situation that they might be dealing with mentally, you know, anything that might be going on in their home or anything like that. There's a way out of every situation. There's a positive, you know, outcome that can come out of every situation. So um, believe in yourself, you know, believe that your situation can get better. Doesn't always happen in the time that we always want it to happen. You know, change doesn't always, you know, things don't always get better when we want them to. We always look, most of us always look for situations to get better way sooner. But just just believe that like your situation like will change. You know, that you'll come out of that situation. You know, that you'll see better days. You know, but just trust the process, and you know, just try to stay positive as much as you can. You know, try to surround yourself with as much positive energy as possible. You know, educate yourself. Like, you know, just, you know, ask for help ask for help if you need it. You know, there's so many different sources on social media, and you know, it's so many different sources like in this world of, you know, like people of good, like positive people that are like willing to, you know, help situations. You know, we all can't like change situations and make situations better, but there's people that definitely like help make situations better. Like, you know, there's just, for example, a part of getting up in the mornings, you know, like investing in ourselves, that helps out with situations that we go through, because we all go through situations on an everyday basis. You know,
Yeah.
some things that we don't talk about, and some things that we, you know, just kind of like get distracted from. But you know, the situations like don't go away. But we also invest in, we you know, we use things to basically like help make our situations better. So invest in yourself as well. You know, like invest in yourself, like whatever that way is of, you know, wherever you see yourself at in the future. Educate yourself on that. You know, just work on getting closer and closer to that goal that you have, because that brings healing as well.
Yep.
You know,
Straight
that
up.
makes situations like, you know, that makes situations like a lot better for people. You know, that that motivates people. You know, uplifts them and stuff like that. Especially when people know that they're getting closer to what they're, you know, like doing. Just like you, for you example, just like for you example, you know, the journey that you're on right now, like, you, congratulations too on, like, you know, like the move that you actually just like made like yesterday.
Thanks.
You're doing that because a part of you, like, you know, you believe in yourself, and like not just you, but we know where you're going. You know what I mean? Like, we know the direction that you're going, and it's like a lot of amazing things that like await you. So you're locking in more to focus on to where you're going. You
Thank
know?
you, man. Yeah,
So,
I really appreciate that, man. And you know, I agree with your answer 100%. You know, some of the big things that stuck out for me was, you know, ask for help, and then two is that you're gonna fight through whatever it is that's been placed in your way. Think about all the great times that have happened in your life. They don't always happen 100% of the time, and even the worst things that have happened, like you fought through them, they don't happen 100% of the time either. So thank you so much for your wise words, Ryan. Man, I really appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
The people watching, if there's somebody that wanted to reach out to you, because we're at the end of the program, if there's somebody that wanted to reach out, where can they reach out to you at?
I am on Facebook. My name is Ryan O'Neal. O'Neal with the O''N''EAL. I'm
Mhm.
also on Instagram too. Ryan A O'Neal. I believe, yeah, Ryan A O'Neal. So RYANAONEAL.
My guy, thank you so much, Ryan, and I can't wait to give you some buckets tomorrow, man. We're gonna get active. No, I'm just
Yes, sir.
kidding. My guy, that's my teammate right there. That's my boy. So thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it as
Appreciate
well.
you having me on the show.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you're the man, Ryan. You're the man. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. I really appreciate all of your positive energy, your comments, your questions. Thank you guys for actually clicking the link and making the jump and believing in yourself to come on here and crush it, because they both crushed it and they knocked it out of the park. So I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and remember, always, always, always believe in yourself. So have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you next week. Peace.